Hey friends, it's Nicole, and today I'm talking about how you're going to be able to glow up. I'm going to outline a couple different ways that you can work on yourself during this time that will be greatly beneficial. I'm also starting a workout type series, and I want you guys' input, so please let me know down in the comments below what you would like to see, and I'm happy to try and do so. So the first and probably easiest thing that you can do is to go ahead and look around you and evaluate and say, what is it that I can be doing right from where I am? I think that's really powerful, is to like take some time to self-evaluate and think like, what do you want to work on and what do you want to achieve out of this glow up, as we're gonna call it. Then I would start with organizing. I would go through all of your stuff, start small and kind of take maybe a week or so to do this, or just kind of split it up into segments and just be like, today I'm gonna go through shoes, tomorrow I'm gonna go through shirts, the day after that I'm going to go through and like clean your room or your van, whatever space you're living in. Then from there I would evaluate, and I would do like 3 separate files. First I would do a pile of, okay, I definitely like this, I wear this all the time, I'm gonna keep it. 2 is like your maybe pile of like, I still like this, or I'm iffy about it but I don't wear it or I don't use it. And then the 3rd is going to be your, I don't use this at all, I don't even remember having this is old, or I don't use this, or someone else could use this pile, where you know you're gonna get rid of stuff. Take that 3rd pile and just like discard of it, in a sense, as in like give it away, do something with it so that it doesn't just go to a landfill, but that you don't have it in your space anymore, and you'll start to kind of feel like you have less stress in that sense because you'll have 1 pile done with. And then from there you can go in and say like, okay, so I've got my organization done, I've gone through and like narrowed out stuff, and in that middle pile where you said like maybe, you can go through and give yes or no's on that. And then whatever you don't wear in like the next 6 months, I would recommend like getting rid of or gifting or selling on like Poshmark or Craigslist or one of those resale stores. Because when you reduce the clutter, you increase the clarity, because you're able to see and think more because you don't have as many distractions, and then you're able to kind of get to the essence of like what you're stressing over, like what really matters to you, and kind of reevaluate. You can also refine your style that way. You've deep cleaned your room, now it's time to deep clean yourself. Meaning that you're gonna evaluate, okay, what soaps and shampoo and conditioner and like products are you using, and how does it make you feel? Because if you're using some sort of makeup and it irritates your skin, then why are you using it? Because obviously it's not good for you. You can either like swap it or kind of ditch it in a sense, because you don't want to bring things into your life that bring you negativity. I think you should really focus on the positives and do what you can to optimize those positives. When you are evaluating like your hair and skincare and stuff like that, is really break it down to the basics. Like if something isn't working for you, ask why. Is it the product itself? Is it your routine of how often you're using the product? Are you using something too much or too little? Or is it just time to get rid of it? I'd say like the simpler the better, because then you have less to stress about. And when it comes to your hair, I think if you're a girl watching this, you're probably gonna wanna like deal with split ends. So if you have split ends, you may either wanna like look at it and like trim out some on your own, or do like a deep condition. I feel like it's really good to do condition. A big no about conditioner that a lot of people miss or don't know is that you're only supposed to condition from like here down. You don't condition your scalp because it already has a bunch of nutrients in a sense and oils. So when those oils get washed around and down in your hair, it like moisturizes it. But if you put more conditioner here and it's already got a bunch of oils, then you start producing less oils, which is actually bad for your hair. Do a deep conditioner. So if you get a conditioner, or you even like use your regular conditioner and put it in a spray bottle with some water and like mix it up so it's like a watery solution, you can do like a leave-in conditioner. But I recommend maybe like once a week to do like 10 to 15 minutes of just like leave-in conditioner in your hair when it's wet, and then getting it warm, because that will really help. Because what happens is when you heat it up, it allows the follicles of your hair to open up with heat, and then it will take in those nutrients. And that's another thing too, is like when you're coming out of the shower, if you like use cold water, I know like no one actually likes to use cold water, but if you use cold water at the end, it's actually good for your muscles and relieving soreness, but it's also good for like waking you up, keeping more blood flow, keeping you active and stuff. But also it's good for closing those hair follicles that you have opened with your initially warm shower. The next thing that I'm going to talk about is your teeth. Everyone likes to smile, everyone wants to have perfectly white, shiny, straight teeth. That's kind of what the media tells you to have anyhow. I think with whatever you have, the big thing is oral hygiene, so making sure that you are brushing 3 times a day, that you are flossing, that you are actually taking the time to do so at least once a day, that you are either making sure that your teeth are clean. If you feel like they're yellow, then either you can use like white strips, you can use I think it's baking soda and water and lemon to brighten your teeth. You can actually like brush your teeth with that. There's also whitening toothpaste. You can do kind of a mixture of all 3 of those. And of course that's your discretion and your decision there, but I have used all 3 of those in the past. The next thing that I want you to consider, to care about the way that you dress yourself, because I think like it's easy, especially on days where you're indoors, you're just staying around the house, to really just wear like loungewear in a sense, wear like super casual clothes, but that might not be the best for you, because a lot of times like when you dress for an occasion, you act on that occasion. And so if you are dressing up a little bit, it might help you to focus more, because you're more in a mode of, okay, today I'm gonna work, today I'm gonna focus, I'm gonna get done what I want to, versus if you're just like in cozy clothes, I feel like you're not going to accomplish as much. At least that's my opinion. Maybe it's different for you, but I just found that that's helpful for me, is to like dress a little bit better, and then you can focus more and get more done. Another really important thing is sleep. Making sure that you are getting your 7 or 8 or even 9 hours of sleep a night. Super duper important. I think we underrate sleep a ton. Like, it's easy to just be like, oh, I have this to work on, or I'm stressed about this, and then you don't sleep as much as you should. So just making sure that you try and get as much sleep as you can, but not like anything crazy like 12 hours. Sometimes you just need that, but most of the time you don't. So what I do is I set a bedtime alarm and a wake up alarm on my phone. So if you have an iPhone, I know it has it, I'm not sure about Android, but it should have some sort of similar feature where you can set a bedtime and a wake up. If not, you can just set a regular alarm for the night and for in the morning. The next thing that I want to talk about is fitness. Making sure that you are optimizing, like getting up, moving around, doing something active, because not only does it challenge you and allow you time for like headspace and thinking, but it also like keeps you active, keeps you fit, keeps you healthy. And I find that when you're like working out and you feel so good afterwards, you're like so accomplished, and you can like put the energy into doing other things because you've already accomplished something with fitness. I think also like flexibility and mobility is highly underrated. I think more people should be doing that, because there's so many people who can lift a 50-pound dumbbell and do a squat, but they're so stiff that they can't like move around without being sore. And I think it's really important to make sure that you are investing into your mobility and flexibility. So I personally have been doing these things called ROMWOD, R-O-M-W-O-D, and I'll put a link in the description to what it is if you guys are curious. It's like a stretching and mobility thing. The next thing is nutrition. When you are working out and you're cleaning your skin and you're taking care of your hair and whatever needs to be done, but then you're not giving your body the proper nutrients, you're not gonna feel so great. Like if you just eat oily, greasy, processed foods, like what you eat impacts how you feel. And I know sometimes it's hard because a lot of these, like the media kind of puts in front of you like all these like things that aren't necessarily healthy for you, and there's like so much junk food everywhere. But if you just get in the habit, I think one of my biggest rules is like plant over processed. So like anytime there's like something green or something that's healthy, or vegetables or fruit, just choose that before you have the thing that you actually like were initially thinking of, because you kind of have to rewire yourself to eat healthy in a sense. If I wanted a cookie, for instance, like it's not that I can't have the cookie, it's just that I'm like, well, am I dehydrated? Am I lacking in iron? Do I need more spinach? Like, And just, you can have that cookie later, but just like initially giving yourself some sort of nutrient dense food. Even if it's just like a bag of frozen veggies, having that before you have the processed food that you initially wanted, and then making sure not to go like crazy on those processed foods really helps. I'm not saying to like cut everything entirely out of your diet, because I don't think that's healthy. I think it's important to have a varied diet, but if there's something that you really are struggling with, I feel like you can have that in moderation as long as it's not harming you. And really focus on the choices you make the 90% of the time, the choices you choose the majority of the time that really impact your health. Hydration. So I think it's very, very important to make sure that you are hydrated. I know that, especially living on the road, like living in a van, I've really struggled with this, is like making sure that I am properly hydrating, because it's so easy to say like, oh, but I don't have to stop at like every gas station in an hour. And so just making sure that I'm like keeping an eye on my hydration and how much am I drinking in a day. And like for me, I record that. There's like an app you can do that in, and then there's also like water bottles that label how much water is in it. You can even make a tally of it, like in an agenda or a planner, or even on the notes in your phone, to find out like what you want to use to consume your water in. So like I have like a 20-ounce bottle that I use, and then I just like record each of them, and then I try and get to like a certain water goal for the day. Writing down like what is stressing you and your thoughts and opinions. I think this is so understated. Like there's so much that people are going through that people don't even know about. And I think if we all just kind of write down our thoughts, we then open up the opportunity to process it and to think out like what our reactions are for. Because a lot of times what we're reacting to is actually caused by something else. For instance, like I worked at a smoothie shop for a while, and when I was there, there was like this lady who obviously was having like a bad day, and she like yelled at me and some others in the store. And just the first thing that popped into my mind is like, oh wow, she must have had a really bad day. Something must be going on in her life. Like something bad must be happening, or like something's really stressing her out. And so I think it's a lot of times that with the way that we react to situations is like how you're perceiving things and what's going on in your life. So I think it's really important to keep tabs on yourself in that sense, and to have a place to really write that out, think and process, so that you can deal with whatever issues you have, so that you can overcome them and be stronger and grow into that person that you want to become. Earlier I mentioned about how you may want to journal, and I think that's the first step in personal development. And I think self-care is really important, and it's really understated, is that you really need to take time to not only get to know yourself, but to develop yourself in the sense of who you are and why you are the way that you are. I think a lot of people go about life without even delving into that, and they miss so much of their potential and their dreams and ambition by not believing that they're more than what they are on paper. Just in case you're one of those people out there, like, you are more than your grades, than the opinion of others, than what others think of you. Like there's so much potential inside of you. You just have to find out what you're passionate about, and that's going to light the fire as to what you want to do. And I think that that's really powerful, is knowing yourself and taking time to develop yourself personally. It's a personal development I cannot recommend enough. Like, so important. The next thing is others. So I put this others category in there because it's really important that once you find out what you're passionate about, that you surround yourself with others who are also passionate about that. So if you are really a bookworm out there, then you need to find a book club. You need to find a book review group, or something that you can do to delve yourself into that, so that you can push yourself to go further and to get better. If you are a photographer, videographer, then find a group of fellow creatives. Reach out to people, even if it's on Instagram, and just like say, hey, this is what I'm interested in, I really want to do this, would you talk to me about it? Just like ask your questions, find people that you can go to, people that can be your mentors, people that you can have in your friend group, people who are a couple steps further along than you, who are older and wiser and know what they're doing. And then as well as you need a group of people who are around your same age, who are interested in the same things that you're interested in, that can spur you on. And then also to get involved with what you care about, not just on a personal development level, but if you have sort of initiatives that you want to take, like you really have an interest in helping children with after school programs, or you have an interest in soccer or football or basketball or cheerleading or whatever it is. Maybe there's a girl who wants to make the cheerleading squad and she doesn't know how to cheer yet. Maybe you can be the girl who actually reaches out and is friendly enough to teach her how to cheer. It's little things like that that really matter in life, and you can make such an impact in someone else's life. So I think it's like you have to focus like inward, and then you can do things outwardly that really make a difference in someone else's life. Thoughts, journal, a lot of mental stuff. I think that's really good because you can do like all the fitness training and all the stuff in the world that I've listed. You could take care of your skin, but you could still feel awful about yourself if you don't know yourself. And I think it's really important to be in a good place mentally. So really focus on like what thoughts are running through your head and why, because you could be like the biggest like bodybuilding woman ever, but if you don't have the confidence to go out there and bodybuild or to do what it is that you want to do, then that really holds you back. So I think thoughts are really powerful, and you have to maybe write out or develop or figure out like what's going on with your thoughts so that you can bring positive ones into your life and really grow the way that you want to grow. I think also an important thing to note is your environment, your friends, everyone around you really has an impact. The friends and people in your life, friends and family, determine the direction and quality of your life, and more so as you get older it becomes more reliant on your friends because you end up spending a lot more time with your friends when you're like off in high school and college and all that stuff. So I think it's really important to look at where your friends, where's that trajectory of where they're going, and is that really where you want to go? Because the people you surround yourself with are spurring you on towards the direction that they're also going. So if you really want to go places in life, you've really got to set that standard of like, it's not saying that you're disassociating with those people, it's saying that you're finding a core group of people who really care about the same things that you do that are going to help you get to where you want to be in a way of developing and spurring on each other. But then also the friends that you have, that you can be a light and encourage them from right where you are. I think another side note is that sometimes there's things in our life that are actually toxic to us that we don't necessarily recognize. So I think journaling and thinking that out can really help. One of the things that I found to really help with like boosting mood and really getting me out there is just like find fun ways to exercise, find ways that you can incorporate an active lifestyle, eat foods that you enjoy that are also healthy. Find ways to innovate, like if you're looking for something crunchy, you could even do like carrots and hummus. Best combo ever. I'm like obsessed with hummus. But then you can also look into things like, for instance, like I use an all natural deodorant and I switched to an all natural laundry detergent, and it just like really helps because sometimes you can feel weighed down by those sort of things like heavy toxic chemicals in your life. And I don't know, maybe it's just me, but there's things in your life that you can change that may seem like so small but can really make a big impact. I really hope that this video has been helpful. Again, I'm putting out some fitness stuff as well, so if this is something that you're serious about and you really want to glow up, I'm here for you, and let me know in the comments below because I really want to help you guys out in whatever way that I can. So cheers, it's Nicole, and I'll see you soon. Subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you in the next video.